Your home for everything rugby league. This is Running It Straight with Sam Hewat and Anthony Gelling on SENZ.
Welcome into Running It Straight, folks, for your Wednesday, the 29th of May. We're talking rugby league for the next hour, and you can text us anytime on 8833. You can drop comments on the YouTube channel, wherever you may be listening, viewing, watching around the motu or around the globe. Myself, Sammy Hewitt, alongside Anthony Gelling. I'm surprised Jello's even made it here in time, to be honest. The streamers, the parade, the cake that was laden outside as he paraded himself through the SNZ offices following the win at the harness on Friday night. Jello on the back of the horse, on the back of Blake Ashford.
I should have stayed on it and just walked through here like a chariot.
Yeah,
that was good fun, man. That was so cool.
Mate,
I got a big trophy.
You got a big trophy. Yeah, got some winnings.
I should have brought it in. I was going to bring it in and just perch it here until next year.
Absolutely should. We've got a trophy down here, but the race by Grins, that's a couple of years old, but we've got that one there. Rumours that the horse was called Blake Ashford, so you could give it a good whip down the home straight.
Well, I said that as a joke, and then they're like, "Oh, obviously, we look after our equine fans." And then I realised, you gotta.
Yeah, the whips
are very PC.
They phased out the whips 10 years ago.
Yeah, they're very PC around the whole horse. Yeah, no, I know nothing about horses, so I'm new to the whole thing.
Neither do I. But I had fun calling your race.
That was wicked.
So, what's coming up between now and 3? Obviously, we're on a bye week, so plenty of teams are out of action in the NRL. We're going to talk to Jordan Rapana, actually, the Canberra fullback, Kiwis fullback as well, 6th oldest player in the NRL. So we're going to catch up with Jordan Rapana and I guess pick his brain a little bit as to Canberra this year. They've got a lot of young guns in there. He's one of the older players, so I'm sure he's having to do a lot of sort of leadership and mentoring to the younger guys. Maybe a little bit about his career over the last 10 or so years. Jello, he's 34 now.
Debuted in 08.
Well, there you go, 15 years. And of course, a bit of a Kiwi stalwart in there as well. And just, even though he gets injuries, he never seems to stay off the field for too long. So we'll pick his brain. We will talk the State of Origin sides as well. I've just seen an article coming out about Hamole Olakau'atu and some old, I won't say demons, but some people trudging back through the Twitter files to find him supporting Queensland as a youngster, which, the Queenslanders love doing that, going back through the archives. Right? It is, yeah. And just finding out that he was a diehard Queensland fan as a kid, and now he's talking about how proud he is to represent New South Wales. Oh, that couldn't get worse for New South Wales. Have you heard about the big injury news as well for New South Wales?
Madge.
Yeah, Madge.
Cutting his head.
HIA, 11-day stand down. So Freddie might have to come back. It must be
bad. I've needed stitches.
Yeah, Freddie might have to come back. And ironically, he was walking away from the centre of excellence. So I don't know if there's some sort of poetry there. Anyway, we'll talk some
There's a punchline to be heard.
And we'll also talk the games that are coming up this weekend. There are a couple of them. But first, as we always do, we'll have a look back on the weekend's round of NRL action. And in particular, of course, the Warriors win over the Dolphins at Go Media Stadium, Mount Smart, 24 points to 20, off the back of the Panthers win, Jello. And there's a lot of opinion out there that these two games, as sort of a 2-week period, are arguably two of the best, the toughest in the club's history for what they've been able to achieve with a lot of players out and a squad, particularly on Sunday, that Andrew Webster basically had to put together on game day. No chance, no Taine Tuopiki, and they go and beat the Dolphins, who are a top 4 team. Is pretty remarkable.
Yeah, you know what? The Warriors are the underdogs. That tag is so important to us. We were the underdogs all year last year, and it worked very well for us. And then this year, two of the biggest performances we've pulled out, heavy underdogs. No one backed us for the Panthers game. No one backed us for that Dolphins game last weekend. Is there a way that we can just make ourselves the underdogs? Just throw in some adversity. If our team looks too good,
just rest a couple of stars each week.
Just rest a couple, yeah.
Look, we talked last week about what impressed you the most in that Panthers performance, Joe, but what about Sunday against the Dolphins? Was there anything that sort of stuck out for you that impressed you the most?
It was a team effort again, but individually I thought Marata was awesome, man.
Mate, does he not? He makes such a difference, eh? Such a difference.
The fact that he was injured for as long as he was, and then when he was starting, I was surprised. Like, do you really want to start him? Is he going to play big minutes? I don't know. He did play big minutes, and that try that he scored shows what we've been missing.
Oh, yeah. But even just the lines, and it's just, sometimes it's not about, and I'm sure you can shed some light on this, but it's not about just breaking the line or getting an offload away. But just you could see how much it took out of the Dolphins' defence when he was running those lines in at them.
Yeah.
Like they're having to retreat quickly. They're having to take a big, heavy contact. He gets a couple of post contacts, and then a quick play the ball means they're quickly on the back foot. And I just think that sort of stuff is what we've been missing over the last few weeks.
Yeah, he has that presence, and you could see it early in the game when we were going a little bit side to side. We were getting some joy, getting round him or getting one-on-ones, because every time he hit that line, defenders got to stay, they got to hold, and works well for us.
So I asked you the question last week, Jello, as to the conundrum Andrew Webster faced with all these injured players that are probably going to come back after the round this weekend, and how you now mix them into some players that are playing very, very well. Now we throw Marata in there as well. Could you see after round 13, after the bye, Webby changing anything at all? Or do you think it's a straight, Sean's back in, Kurt Capewell's back in, Tohu's back in, Adam's back in? It's just as simple as that.
Oh, it's a tough one, man.
Well, it's been tough for him too.
Yeah, that's a really tough one, because if you go back to that team, that starting team, they weren't playing well. They were very predictable.
No, we've lost 4 in a row,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a tough one. Do you bring back some of them? Do you bring back a couple key ones? And maybe, I think, I can imagine him bringing back the starters. I think there may be space on the bench to...
The bench will be very, very interesting.
To reward those guys that played well.
How...
Mind you, though, you say that. Paulie Roach killed it against the Panthers, and he was left out against the Dolphins until someone was missing, and then he got called back in and done a great job again.
So a couple of ones for you then. Is it Tamati and Sean?
I think that could work now. I think that would look better with Tamati's kind of newfound confidence. Not forgetting, but obviously remembering Chance against the Panthers was very, very good playing in the halves. And then, are you still happy with Chance at the back? Roger's not back to, I think, round 17. Oh, okay. Well, that might be the case. I don't know. Usually I find...
Right, who are your centres?
Usually I find when these big decisions need to happen, they kind of figure themselves out. Someone gets injured, someone goes down, and then it figures itself out.
Who are the centres? Who's your ideal centre pairing, based off what you've seen?
Ideal centres, I like Ali Leatawa, and I like Pompey. It's working, man.
So Rocco, no space for Rocco?
Not right now.
Okay.
No, not right now.
Look, and these are the decisions that are going to have to be made, Jello. There's going to be some big names.
It's going to take a squad to do it, and I don't think you're going to pick 2 centres and they're going to stay there for the rest of the year. So
now that you've seen the Warriors do what they've done over the last 2 weeks, a bit of momentum heading into the bye, and they're getting these players back, where do you position them? If sort of power rankings wise, where do you see them in terms of the rest of the competition?
I see them as a top 8 team, but we haven't seen the consistency yet. So this new kind of style of play, a bit more loose, bit more throw it around. It's worked twice now, but you kind of need to see a bit more to know that that's what's going to get us to the final. All right. So I'd put us in the top 8, but
not quite top 4.
Not quite top 4.
Okay,
yet.
well, we could easily change, right? We come back after the bye. These guys come back in. Very difficult period as well. We've got the Bulldogs, the Sharks, the Storm, the Broncos. So we've got some tough... Cowboys, Bulldogs... Broncos, Storm, then we've got another bye. So we do have a tough period of games.
There's tough games coming, and we have to start better. Both the last 2 weeks, we've started awful. Giving away ball early and conceded at the first crack that they have at our line.
Big difference for Sunday as well with no penalties, I thought. No penalties across the game for the Warriors.
Really? I didn't even notice.
Didn't give away a single penalty. And that's,
that's
two of the penalties from the Dolphins led to our field position that ended up with 2 tries. So, it shows how big of a difference those penalties make. We've got a new segment on Running It Straight, the Performance of the Week, presented by Alpecin. And it's for hair loss. You can choose the Alpecin Caffeine Shampoo. It's got caffeine in it, Jello. It's very, very nice for your hair. It can really grow it out. Performance of the Week on Sunday for you, Warriors v Dolphins.
Marata Niakore.
Yep, he gets the 3 points.
He does. Keeping with the theme today too, like another Cook Island Rugby League store.
Icon.
We got another one, Jordan Rapana, coming up later in the show. So I'm slowly turning this into a Cook Island Rugby League hour without you noticing.
No, I'm noticing. But I can't do anything about it. All right, so Marata Niakore, he is our performer of the week. Alpecin hair loss. More and more men are choosing Alpecin Caffeine Shampoo. It's doping for hair, but only for here. What we'll do, Jello, we'll take a break. Jordan Rapana is going to be on the other side of that. We will talk some State of Origin a bit later on. That game next week, of course, but the squad's named on Sunday and Monday for New South Wales and Queensland, respectively. We do have a couple of games this weekend to get through. I also, last week, tasked you with coming up with your all-time 13 of players starting with the first letter of your first name. So all A's, which you're going to give me at some stage. And we also have the next 2 players for our Simpsons 13, which is an idea you've come up with. Last week I chose Nelson Muntz as my starting front rower. You chose Barney as your starting front rower. They'll go toe-to-toe, and we'll have 2 more players for you this afternoon. So stay with us here on Running It Straight. When we come back, we'll have Canberra and Kiwis fullback Jordan Rapana. Any questions you want for Jordan, you can text through on 8833. Yeah, welcome back into Running It Straight here on SENZ. Sammy alongside Jello taking you through until 3 o'clock, and on the line now, a very special guest. He is a 200-plus gamer for the Canberra Raiders, and he also plays for the Kiwis, and he's a good friend of Jello's. We know it is Jordan Rapana. He's on the line now. G'day, Jordan.
Morning, guys. How's it going?
We're doing very well, mate. I understand you're at the mall, so we'll keep this as quick as we can so that it doesn't descend into chaos with the kids. Mate, we were going through a bit of a list before of the oldest players in the NRL. I know Jello wants to ask you a question about that. You're sitting at number 6, 34 years old, and an injury in round 5. You're back for the last 2 games. How's the body holding up?
Yeah, surprisingly, it's holding up all right, and the injury I got was just a minor knee surgery. So when I originally did it, I thought it might be all over, but I was pretty lucky, and it was just a clean out. So I've played 2 games since I've had the surgery, and touch wood, it's holding up all right.
Oh, nice. But hey, Jules, Jello here, mate. How's it going, brother?
Hey, bro.
Bro, so number 6, you're the 6th oldest player. Can you name 5 players older than you currently playing?
Yep. Maybe not 5. I can name 4.
All right.
JWH.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Jesse Bromwich.
Yep.
Daly Cherry Evans.
Yep.
And Jake Granville.
Wow, you've done very well there, but you've actually missed the number. You've missed the number 1, the oldest player in the NRL right now. Do we give him a hint, Jello?
No, this guy left and came back is Michael Jennings, 36.
Oh, of course. Yes.
You're in pretty good company there, though, Jordan, though, to be fair.
Yeah.
Oh, 10 seasons with the Raiders, right? 200 games there. I think a lot of people forget that you debuted 2008 at the Titans.
Yep.
So you were playing with guys like Scott Prince, Preston Campbell, Matt Rogers. Matt Rogers turns 50 in 2 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Does that make you feel old or what, man? What's your secret, bro? 34. What's your secret to
What is
longevity?
the secret?
Yeah, it does make me feel very old, bro. I seen Matt Rogers on TV the other day. Shit, he looks old.
What's your secret, bro?
My secret, my secret. Well, obviously, a lot of people don't understand is I went away for almost 5 years out of the game. I debuted when I was 18 and took off on a mission for my church. And what else did I do? Not much else for 5 years, but I think that was a massive break on my body. You know, it's very fast and it's demanding on the body. But having 5 years out of the game was probably huge in the long run, and it's probably showing. It's probably more evident now that I'm getting older, and I still feel as though my body doesn't feel like a 34-year-old's body. And I'm not saying that it's not a sales pitch to any NRL club to try and get another deal, but I really feel like you look at some other guys that are around my age, and a lot of people I started off with that are the same age as me have all had to retire through injury. So I've been pretty lucky. I probably got to give mum and dad credit, probably just good genetics, and I'm just fortunate, really.
Well, it's amazing. It's amazing you've done 10 seasons at the Raiders. Like, I remember when you first came back, like, to think that time has just gone so quickly. It always seems like down at Canberra you got such a tight group of boys. Like, I remember that team that you guys went to the GF, of John Bateman and stuff like that. He spoke, like, so highly of how tight and stuff you were. What was it like losing Jack Whiten?
Yeah, it was obviously a big loss. He's one of, probably for myself and Josh Papali and Jared Croker, we're guys that have played together I've played with them for 10 years. Josh has played with Jack for 12 years. Jared's played with them for even longer. So, it was a big hole left in the club. It was just one of those things for Jack. He needed change, and I think we missed him massively on the field. But he's one of those dudes that he's a massive leader off the field. What he says, people when he talks, people listen, and I think that's where the biggest the biggest hole was left when he left this year.
Did he leave a hole in the golfing crew? Was he out on the course with you?
Nah, he is a country bumpkin, so he loved his horse riding and being out on the farm and that. He wasn't much of a golfer. He'd come out here and there for more for the piss-ups, more for the beers. But he wasn't a big golfer. But he can hit a ball when he gets hold of it.
Well, speaking of golf, so I believe you've got one of the best handicaps in the NRL. What are you playing off?
Really?
Is it three or four?
My GA is 2.2 at the moment.
Wow.
I've been playing for quite a while. Like I played when I was a bit younger and that, and growing up, and then probably in the time that I've been in Canberra. As you know, Canberra's the reason we're so tight is because there's not much else to do here. So not a lot to do here. So to keep your time occupied, you go to the golf course and play lots of golf and hang out with each other. So I think that's probably where my handicap's gone down so much as the time I put on the course.
Because we were saying the other day they should have an NRL golf tournament. Because I think you'll definitely be front runner for one of them. I know Warriors got some good ones. Wade,
Wade plays well. I think Dylan Walker.
Dylan Walker. So keep your eye out for that, boy.
Justin Hoddle at the end of the year is trying to organise. I think he's organising something with. Organising something with YKTR, and they're trying to do something with they're trying to get 2 players from each NRL club, who have the lowest handicaps, to play against each other. So hopefully that goes ahead. They'll be mean.
Do you know the other one that I just thought of there, because we were talking about it on the breakfast show a couple of days ago? They need to bring back the NRL 100-metre sprint at the end of the season. I don't know if you'd take part in that, Jordan, but if you thought if one person from every club, who do you reckon would win that one over 100 metres?
Oh, you'd think Jason Saab. He's pretty. I think he's pretty hard out into his sprinting. I know we got a young fella, Xavier Savage, who used to do sprinting as well.
Yeah, he's rapid.
There's pretty much. I think every club has one. Every club's got someone that would give it a good run for their money. So it'd be cool to watch. I just don't think NRL clubs would want to see a player do a hammy and something like that.
Oh, just do it at the end of the year, and if the guys are in the grand final, you can take them out of it. But I think if Gus Gould had his way, Ed O'Carr would win that race, being the fastest man on the planet. Jordan, I want to talk to you just quickly about the Raiders this year. Very, very new look team with plenty of young guys around. You look at Chevy Stewart, who stood into that fullback role with your injury, only 18 years old. Ethan Strange, 19. Kyle Weeks, 22. But these guys are, they've adapted to the NRL very, very quickly. What's impressed you the most about these young guns, and I guess how much mentorship do they look to guys like yourself to give them, being an older statesman in the team?
Yeah, we've got as you touched on there, we've got so many young fellas that are so talented, man, and they have huge futures, not only at the Raiders but just in the game itself. But yeah, I think players like myself, and we got. I feel like at the Raiders right now, we've got such a good mix of, experience and youth, and players like myself, Papa and Elliot Whitehead. We're come game day, especially, and throughout the week, we're definitely those players that, those younger fellas probably look up to and learn off. I know especially for Kyle and Ethan as halves, they're probably, when it comes to their ability, they're physical, and they've got all the speed, they've got all the physical attributes, but probably the one thing they lack is their talk, and I think that comes with experience as well. But probably being around Elliot and then myself and Papa and some experienced fellas, I think they learn quickly. And and I think that as I said, they're going to be huge for the game, and they've been amazing for us.
Hey, bro. Usually on the show we have current Warriors players, ex-NRL, ex Warriors players. What's it like from an outside perspective? What's that trip like? Traveling to Mount Smart, or even playing out in the regions, Canterbury or something like that. What's it like coming across and playing the Warriors?
For myself, I love it, bro. I love it. Love coming home. I know I've lived in Aussie for quite some time. But home's still home, and I always get to see the whānau back there every time I get to go back there, and obviously it can be pretty scary running out to a full packed house, Mount Smart Stadium. But I just love that, especially through that COVID period where they didn't, the Kiwi fans missed out on a lot of rugby league. It's just good to see the stadium back full house. Yeah, Mummy's over there. The stadium's full house, and all the fans have had their team back there, and especially the last year and at the start of this year, they've taken off on, they've had a good start to the season, and towards the back end of last year they were killing it. So it's awesome to see.
Yeah. Hey, brother, I appreciate your time. I know you're busy today, so appreciate you jumping on.
Sounds like you've been pulled away to the gelato stand.
Yeah.
One last question. Any chance of pulling on the Cookies jersey before you finish up?
Yeah, I spoke to Tackers, bro, and it's definitely on the cards. I just waiting to see what happens at the end of the year for me. If I hang the boots up, or I've still got looking to maybe go over to Super League. So just depending on what I do at the back end of the season. If I definitely finish up and that's me done, I'll definitely play, bro.
5 more years, bro. You got ages left. I appreciate it, brother. Thanks heaps for jumping on, and we'll chat to you later.
No worries, my boys. Thank you.
There you go. Jordan Rapana, really appreciate his time there. Definitely sounds like the little ones are asking for some ice cream in the background. Look, I just want to touch on that point, Jello, about what the Warriors have built with the home crowds, and the story coming out yesterday that they've already sold out the Broncos and the Storm games in round, I think it's 15 and 17 respectively. The Broncos,
that's a month away.
Broncos a month away, and I actually just got a text from someone at the club because I was talking to them about it, and they said that Broncos game was almost sold out a month ago. So we're nearly 2 months out. That game was nearly sold out.
I got heaps of people hitting me up for tickets.
Right, and the crazy thing for me, Jello, is that this team isn't even winning the comp. Like, I can understand, the Sharks getting increased numbers because they're at the top of the comp and people think this is their year. The Warriors are sitting in 11th position. They're selling out games a month in advance.
Well, we didn't win a game for a month and sold out our next home game.
There you go. And I've also heard that they are close to doing the Grand Slams. There's 3 home games left that are available.
Okay.
Those are close to being sold out. And if they did sell that out, as the people at the club understand, it would be the first time that an NRL club has sold out every single game across a season.
Seriously?
And that would actually also go back to the 2 games they sold out at the end of last year, the Knights game and I think the final home game. I can't remember who that was against. But so it's something like 14 games consecutive at the moment. Could be 17 games by the end of the season, consecutively sold out. I mean, it's people I don't think realise how unprecedented that is.
That's crazy.
For a team that isn't winning, every single week. It's remarkable.
You know what? They're in a position to say, okay, let's upgrade the stadium now. And you remember a few years ago when they tried to make that jump across the Eden Park? I think they'll be very smart to stay where they are. Just do it well. Just keep doing it well. Upgrade that stadium. Mount Smart's due for a refurb.
I agree.
They got to fill in the corners.
I was going to say,
get the wind.
That south side could probably just be connected,
Yeah,
and that'd add a whole bunch more seats.
And it blocks the wind too, because otherwise it just creates these big tunnels coming through.
I don't know about the northern end where the big screen is, whether they close that, and I know they like that for concerts because it's an easy place to put the stage and have it coming out from. So for concerts,
I think leave it as is.
Leave it as is, but you're right. You could definitely close in the other side and some of the corners as well. Pretty remarkable.
That is a daunting place. I remember, I think it was a Souths game last year, and they came out and it was pissing down, and the rain was coming in sideways.
Yeah.
And it was blowing in sideways straight into a South stand that was just loaded with ponchos, and everyone just, and before the Wars came out, they hit the lights. You can see that South team just standing there like, what are we doing?
And it's like a Premier League ground, right? Like you're right up against, and this is why I like Mount Smart, because you're really close to the action. Yeah. You go to Eden Park and stuff that have sort of been their hybrid cricket pitches and rugby pitches. Sometimes the orientation means you're not up close.
Or they sit it off the side of the track.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, so you sit quite a way away. But at Mount Smart, you are right up against the action, and I can't imagine how tough that must be to play against. A text in on 8833, a couple here actually says that JWH, Jared Warrior-Hargreaves, was an Australian age group golf champ.
Yeah, he was good.
So he'll give George a run as part of the Roosters team.
Yeah, he went to school down in Rotorua, and he was really good. I think he went to my cousin's school. They said he was the man.
So, look, I get the point about not pulling a hammy, but I'd love, like, a golf tournament's a good idea. I would still love the 100-metre race. Like, just the players that aren't in the grand final, end of the season, get them in a 100-metre race.
That one's a tough one, because if you are a winger or a centre, your speed is like what you market with. That's how you negotiate. Look, I'm one of the fastest in the comp. If you don't do well in that race, it can...
You really think that goes through
Well, it's
their
the
head?
comparison, because if you have a race with Jason Saab and he smokes you, you know, if you're Xavier Savage and you get smoked by 30 metres, it's like, whoa, come on,
I
bro,
still think that rugby league speed is very different to sprinting speed. You can be a very, very fast winger, but there's something about having a ball in your hand, having, say, quick acceleration versus...
Rugby league is played under fatigue as well.
Correct.
How often are you going to be fresh at the starting blocks?
Right.
They should have to do a 400 race.
You've just helped my case.
You should have to do it. Okay, I see what you mean.
Yeah, you've helped my case. All right, we're going to take a break here on Running It Straight. We've got a couple of things to tick off before we get to 3 o'clock. Firstly, we'll talk about the State of Origin teams and the games this weekend. We've got to talk about Jello's 13 of his A's.
Yep.
We're also going to talk about our Simpsons 13. We're going to add 2 extra players to that. There was one more thing that you wanted to bring up as well, Jello, and I've now forgotten what it was.
It was because there's no Warriors playing this weekend. It's what else are you going to do with that 80 minutes?
What else are you going to do with 80 minutes?
So I've got some 80-minute alternatives.
He's got some 80-minute alternatives. That's fantastic. So we'll take a break and we'll do all of that before 3 o'clock. Running It Straight, Anthony Gelling just asking me about Izzy's Rugby World Cup bonus and starting to question why he took up rugby league. Rugby might have been a better path, Jello, getting the bonus for winning the World Cup. State of Origin, teams named on Sunday and Monday for the Blues and Maroons, respectively. Ooh-wee. And Nadge's first year in charge, of course, taking over from Freddie Fittler, and his big bombshell, because there always is one bombshell or two, his big bombshell is no James Tedesco. He's replaced him with Dylan Edwards, which is a pretty massive call. There are suggestions as well that Isaiah Yeo is going to start off the interchange, although we'll find that out closer to the time. But what did you make of Madge's New South Wales team for Origin game number 1?
I like it, mate. Very good team. Just on the James, the Tedesco thing, someone asked a question, is that Tedesco then finished in Origin?
Yeah.
Well, it would be,
I think it is. I think it is.
Time for a new era, because even if it's not Dylan Edwards, who else is coming through?
Fullback-wise, is Drinkwater Queensland?
I think so.
I'd have to sit down and work it all out. There's not a lot of New South Wales fullbacks though. A lot of them are Queensland when you think of like Ponga and Walsh.
Yeah, all the fast fellas,
But other than that, you're pretty happy with it. Do you think that's a team that can win? Basically, is the question.
I don't know about Suali'i at centre. Defensively, I don't think he makes very good reads, and I think they'll be coming. They know that they'll be coming after him, I think. But everyone else has been playing great footy. Zach Lomax in there, even despite all the injuries. Like, these are very, very well matched teams. This is going to be a really close, Origin. I can't separate this.
The Queensland team picked by Billy Slater. No massive, I guess, surprises other than no David Fafita. He had a slow start to the season. Billy Slater basically coming out saying he hasn't quite met the standards that we want of him. The rest are all force changes, right? Like Cameron Munster would be the number 6. Yep. But you've got Tommy Dearden, which is a pretty handy replacement as well, which is always the case with Queensland.
Yeah, well, he's gone. I'd pick him first anyway. But I don't know about the number 9s though. With Cam McGuinness at 13, I think there's a better option there. I thought Cam Murray's. Did Arpey make it in the end for New South Wales? No, Arpey. So that's an interesting one. Reece Robson has been playing very well this year for the Cowboys, but it would be Arpey for me at 9 and Cam Murray.
And you also need that experience, right? And Madge doesn't quite know that yet because it's his first year. I mean, he knows in general that you need experience, but maybe at the Origin level, he doesn't quite understand how sometimes guys can be playing. You think about Queensland over the years. A lot of those guys, when you think about the Justin Hodges, etc., weren't necessarily the best at club level, but as soon as they got on the Origin shirt, they completely changed.
Yeah, I think that would justify Latrell. I think Latrell he's a big game player.
Correct. Well, Latrell, someone's texted in here as one of those players, the fullbacks that's left out. So Drinkwater, Kane says, is New South Wales. So he would be the other one for me apart from Dylan Edwards.
I wouldn't play Latrell at fullback in Origin.
No, and then he mentions Turbo, but of course Turbo's still dealing with that injury. I think he's out for another 3 or 4 weeks. So I don't think he'd be an option, Kane. But Drinkwater would probably be your number 2 behind Dylan Edwards if you weren't going for Tedesco.
Yeah, and if Turbo wasn't injured, he'd probably be
But here's my argument, and I think Jacob might have been the one who asked me this morning, or someone asked me if New South Wales were to lose, would Tedesco come back in? I don't think if they lose, it'll be on Dylan Edwards.
No way.
But conversely, I think for Queensland, if they were to lose, I definitely think David Fafita's still in the frame. if Billy was going to make changes. I think David Fifita's still on the cusp if he has a couple of good weeks. The other thing as well, Tedesco is going to go gangbusters over this Origin period. You can guarantee that with the Roosters. He's got a point to prove.
Anyone left out has that chip on their shoulder.
Oh, yeah. And Teddy, of all people, will. As gracious as he was in Dylan Edwards taking that jersey, he will. So, and look, there are a lot of injuries across the park, isn't there? Of course, there's no Nathan Cleary for New South Wales, so it'll be up to Nico Hines if he's fit alongside Jerome Luai. There's a lot of question marks around, the injuries and who's fully fit and ready to go. I see Harry Grant isolated today. I'm not sure if that was maybe a sickness or a flu type thing, but Harry Grant's been isolated. Hines sat out on training, so there's going to be a lot of fitness questions heading into next Wednesday.
Well, I said if Mitch Barnett gets picked for New South Wales, I'm backing them. At the moment, he's on the reserves bench, so unless he, that applies if he's on the field. If he's on the field, I'm backing New South Wales. If he doesn't make a starting team or get on the field during the series, and Queensland win, I'm going to tell you why. Mitch Barnett, that's why.
A couple more saying Turbo fullback, but I'm pretty sure if I'll check out the casualty ward quickly for you to see if how long Turbo's out for. Kane says captaining Teddy in my fantasy team. That's a good play, Kane. John's called in on 0800 150 811, wants to talk about Origin. G'day, John.
Yeah, good day, boys. Hey, that Zach Lomax, he's probably been the Dally M winger of the year thus far. He's just been absolutely fantastic for the Dragons. I think it's going to be a real test of his character this weekend. I found it, let's look at the Queensland team. They've picked a centre on the bench, centre/winger. So I'm with Fatty there thinking, where's the big men? Because Tino's, not Tino, he's not playing, isn't he?
No, he's out for the season. And I would say, John, the only thing there is I don't always take the way the teams are named as being the starting 17s or the starting 13s. Often they'll make these little tweaks moving towards kickoff. So not necessarily, saying that the centre's going to end up on the bench. But no Tino for Queensland as well, which is a big one.
I remember Andrew Webster too. He said when he picks his 17, he'll pick interchanges 14, 15 and 16. Those are the three guys that he needs. He said that fourth guy is someone he doesn't need. So he might tell Selwyn Cobbo, look, we don't expect you to get on the field, but just in case you're here if we need you.
Which was Nico Hines essentially last year for New South Wales at one point, who came on for like 6 minutes in one of the games.
Yeah.
I think you can get that. John, are you New South Wales or Queensland man?
Oh, Queensland all day, mate. I think, but in saying that, with Madge coming on board and what he's done with the Kiwis, and seeing the young lineup that he's chosen, I know exactly where he's heading with this because he did that with the Kiwis. So I think, Queensland will probably win the first game, but we're just going to see a coach that knows how to coach more so than Billy Slater. So you take that as you will.
No, that's interesting, John. I appreciate your call and your points made as well because, I think you're right. I think it's a bit more of a building mechanism for Madge, and he may not win this year, but he'll be hopeful for the years to come. A few people are texting in about Turbo. He's out till round 18, and I think last Origin is just before round 19 or just after round 19, so he might be ready for the last game, but I very highly doubt they'll pull him in off the back of a hamstring injury.
Yeah, especially if he's rushing to get back with a hammy.
And somebody else has said, would Madge have picked Edwards if Pappenhausen was fit? I think Edwards was always going to be the out-and-out replacement for Teddy, quite like for like as well. Even though I rate Pappy very, very highly, I still think Edwards would have got that call up. Let's have a look at the games this weekend, Jello, because obviously we'll do a big State of Origin build up next week, and we're hoping to have Cam Smith on the show as well before Origin game number 1. So there's only a smattering of games with plenty of teams on the bye, as they always do during the Origin period. Eels Sharks will be the game tomorrow night at 9:50. Of course, a few Sharks missing with Origin. Clint Gutherson back for the Eels. Upset on the cards, or
Mitch
no?
Moses back as well.
Mitch Moses. Mitch Moses and Clint Gutherson. Yeah, both of them back.
So that's the guys they've been missing.
That could be an interesting game.
That'd be a good game. Eels at home too, 1-12. Still got that no coach, new coach energy about them. That period for clubs is always a little bit unpredictable. I think the Sharks outside backs will eat theirs alive. Paris still got some young guys at the centres, and they've shown they can play without Nico Hines as well.
Braden Trindle's been cleared as well.
Yeah, there you go.
So it'll probably be him and Atkinson side by side, you'd think.
Yeah, I might take the Eels 1-12.
Well, yeah, I think it will be close tomorrow night at 9:50. One Friday night game at 10 p.m, and that is the Knights and the Bulldogs. Neither have really been affected too much by Origin, except Burton's out for the Bulldogs, so that's a relatively big one. What do you reckon?
I think this game's at least hit by by Origin, I think. I'm going to take the Knights 1-12. The last 4 weeks, maybe 5 weeks, they've crept home by a try. Either 4 points or 6 points. They just keep doing it. They're annoying.
Yep.
But they just...
Fresh off a bye.
Yeah, they just keep on doing it, man. And the doggies, they're missing Crichton, Kikau, Burton. I think Crichton is like the beating heart of the doggies.
Yeah,
he's
true.
a real leader in their team. Without him, I think they're going to struggle.
Panthers Dragons Saturday at 7:30. The Panthers without a host of Origin players, so heavily depleted against a Dragons team that's a little bit up and down. They lose a couple themselves, but what do you reckon?
Well, Dragons, their squad almost looked depleted at the start of the year anyway. And you take out Ben Hunt, you take out Lomax,
that's true.
That's where all their points are. So I'm going to take the Panthers 13 plus on this. I think this has very much like trial match vibes about it.
I got you. Dolphins Raiders 9:35 on Saturday. The Raiders, who are they without Hudson Young?
Yeah, that's it.
That's it.
He's the only one.
And then the Dolphins are out without Hamiso Tabuai-Fidow. So Trey Fuller comes back in and off the loss to the Warriors as well. What do you reckon happens in that one?
Well, I think the Dolphins' outside backs have it over there. Farnworth and Isaka. Man, how good is Farnworth?
Oh, well,
those two tries he scored against the Warriors.
And just the whole game, he was just busy and very hard to tackle.
Yeah,
very hard to tackle.
He's so good, man. I'm gonna take the Raiders in this one though, 1-12. I think it'll be very close. I think if they get a better start than they did last year, I think they can put the Dolphins middle under pressure. So with no Kafusi, that means Mark Nichols will probably start and he'll probably have to play big minutes. I think if they can get at him and make him work, they'll get some joy.
And so you remember last week we had Mitch Barnett on and he went and made the Origin team. We had Jordan Rapana on this week, so maybe a hat-trick for Jordan Rapana, just if you want a little dabble at the TAB. We seem to be pretty good luck for these guys.
Yeah, I know.
Have a think about it. Roosters Cowboys Sunday at 6:05. A few outs, obviously, for the Roosters. A lot of outs for the Cowboys. I feel like this has got Roosters written all over it.
Well, Roosters not as
Teddy,
many
Joey.
as I thought. Like, Roosters is a superstar team, but a lot of them are Kiwis. Some of them are, not eligible.
They've got both their halves.
Yeah, so they still got Teddy there. Still got Joey Manu. Still got Dom Young. I'm going to take Roosters 13 plus in that one. Angus Crichton will be sorely missed for them. I thought he's been one of their best players this year.
Yep.
Cowboys, they were struggling as is. So Cowboys now without Dearden, without Robson, without Cotter, without Val Holmes.
Nanai. Is Nanai in the Queensland team? Nanai's gone. So they've got
So they're going to really struggle, man. Roosters 13 plus, and Roosters are building nicely this year.
Mate, the form team really. They lost to the Sharks in Magic Round, but it was a close game. I still think they're the form team.
But even talking to Justin Horo about the their chances and all the people leaving, and he said it created that last dance kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I think that they've moved to like heavy favourites to make the GF this year.
Yeah, 100%. I think they are premiership favourites. The buys for the Broncos, Rabbitohs, Seagulls, Storm, Titans, Tigers, and of course the Warriors, Jello. So we don't have a game to watch this weekend as Warriors fans. What can you do with 80 minutes, as per Anthony Gelling, to get through?
I thought you would never ask. I've done a bit of research, okay?
I don't know where this is going.
First of all, how many minutes do you think are in a week?
I feel like I did know this, but I can't.
Well, I'll tell you right now.
7,200?
There's 10,080.
Okay, 10,000.
What do you think the 80's for?
Oh,
Rugby league is meant to be. It's like science, God, whatever you want to call it, has just created a world where we have 10,000 minutes a week and 80 minutes to enjoy rugby league. But there's no rugby league to enjoy. No Warriors to watch anyway. So here are some alternatives, alternative ways to spend your 80 minutes this weekend. Number one, watching a feature-length animated movie like Toy Story.
Toy Story is an hour and 21 minutes, so you're bang on.
There you go. Completing a standard university lecture. Baking a loaf of bread from scratch.
Okay.
Painting a room with one coat. 18 holes of mini golf.
Yeah.
Or a full body workout at the gym. So,
okay.
Very boring things to do.
Well, you can be very productive.
You can be very productive, but just goes to show how much we miss the Wars when they're not.
We do, I'm not sure I could prioritise Toy Story over rugby league at this stage, Jello. So there you go. There's something else you can do over the weekend if you're so inclined. We're going to take our last break here on Running Straight. When we come back, we're going to run through Jello's 1 through 13, the greatest all time of players, starting with the letter A. In honour of Anthony Gelling, and we'll also add 2 more Simpsons to our 13s as well. Stay with us here on Running It Straight. Running It Straight, and we are 3 minutes away from 3. Jello, I want you to go through your 13 all-time greatest NRL players based off the letter A.
All right, I'm going to have to rip through these.
Please do.
At fullback, Anthony Minicello.
Has to be.
Australian international. Number 2 on the wing, Andrew Eddinghausen.
Okay. Not a name that rings a bell to me.
Superstar winger Amos Roberts.
Okay.
Got to put myself at number 3.
Yeah,
I made a career just backing myself.
You
I've got to
did,
back
man,
myself
you did.
this time too. Number 4, Adam McDougall. So me and the Mad Dog in the centres. The halves, Anthony Mundine
Yeah, okay.
and Andrew Johns.
Yeah, of course.
2 great
Yeah,
competitors there. Number 8, I think my 4-pack's going to run through your team of S's. Number 8, Arthur Beatson.
Okay, yeah, that's a good one.
Number 9, Alfie Langer.
Oh, dear.
He is,
Oh,
and he's
dear.
at the number 9. Andrew Fafita, number 10.
Yep.
Number 11.
Early Andrew Fafita. Not late career Andrew Fafita.
Grand final winning Sharks, Andrew Fafita. Number 11, the Bobcat, Andrew Ryan.
Okay.
And the Michael Jordan of Rugby League. And number 12, Ali Lauatiti.
Oh, yes.
Number 13, Anthony Watmo.
What, mate?
Bringing the muscle
Yes.
power. Number 14, Adam Dykes.
Okay. Oh, you've gone for the full 17.
I've gone for a full 17.
Okay, got the
bro.
interchange as well.
Number 15, Adam Blair. Melbourne Storm, Adam Blair, prime
Interchange
time.
specialist.
Number 16, it is a Cook Island League show after all. Number 16, Alex Chan. And number 17, the man with the headgear, Alan Tung.
Oh, nice. Man, that's a good 17.
Coached by Andrew Webster.
Of course.
Media manager, Andrew Voss. And masseuse, Adriana Lima. So all the A's.
Oh, that is good. That's a strong team. That's a very strong team. That's
that's a good
Jello's
team,
3rd or 17 of A's. Also, just speaking of your career, someone sent me a video of you charging down a kick up in the UK before getting the yellow card and giving the claps to the crowd as well.
Yeah, that was like my Jerry Maguire moment. When Rod Tidwell jumps off the ground, that was my moment. So I'll give it some context. Wheel Club challenge game against the Broncos.
Yeah, it was.
We
Corey
scored.
Parker was about to kick, I think.
Yeah. So we scored to send it to Golden Point. They gave away an absolute BS penalty right in front of the post.
Yeah.
Everyone was filthy. Stadium was filthy. I was like, man, I ran for 30 carries or something. I'm not having this, going out like that. So as Parker line runs into to charge it down, I've just gone, boom, see you later. and then got the yellow card. So I got taken off yellow card and then gave it these ones to the crowd on the way out. They were loving it.
Oh,
man.
we've got 30 seconds, Jello.
Simpson's character.
Simpson's character, adding him to your 13.
Back row, Duffman. Oh, yeah.
Oh, interesting. I was going to use Duffman somewhere else. I can't use him now.
No, go on.
Damn, I was going to use him as my number 7. Good looking controller. I'm going to go, sticking with the front row, I want to get my props out of the way. I'm going to go Judge Schneider. I had, the big guy.
yeah.
Because I think, I had Nelson Muntz as the bully. I need just a level-headed, calm, but big bopper in the front
you
row.
got one on him.
So I got my 2 props. Running it straight, that's us for another week. We'll be back next Wednesday.
SENZ. It's Kiwi for Sport.